Good evening, folks, listeners, and watchers. I'm your host, Dave Baker, for this evening's show of The Dark Hours. And this evening is kind of a special show that we're going to do here. We are going to discuss the Tressa Graves Productions, which we're going to hear from her cast members, people who did other productions, myself, who was makeup artist for some things, and writer and special effects man, and just all around zombie. So I'd like to start this evening with speaking with Mr. Tressa Graves Productions himself, Michael Ankrill. Michael, welcome to the show.
Thanks, Dave. How you doing?
I'm peachy cream, or however good.
Well, you look good.
Well, tonight I'm not wearing my peach shirt like I was the other night. So anyway, you've done a lot of work with Tressa in a lot of different ways, which is I find is like very interesting. Of course, one of the things that you're most famous for is Tressa Graves' production of Sociopath.
Right.
Now, this to me was like kind of riveting and just downright scary.
Yes.
And I'm sure you had, a lot of fun making it, of course. I know actors try to have fun when you're doing a production. So would you mind telling some of our audience here some of your experiences and background when you made Sociopath?
Absolutely, I'd love to. So we filmed actually two projects back to back the summer of 19, and we filmed them at Woodnote Cabin in Michigan. And Tressa came up to Michigan to film with Sam, and we the first film we shot was, I think it was Teddy Bear Girl, and then we shot Sociopath. And Sociopath is like Tressa's pet project because unfortunately it's inspired by actual events, her story of her stalking, and that stalking is still going on to this day, unfortunately, but she's powered through all that, and her production company is thriving, and that was her pet project, Sociopath. And we had a terrific cast. We had a lot of fun. It was deep in the woods of Michigan, the cabin was, and there was a lake there and woods, and we used all the outbuildings we shot in. We shot in the main cabin, out in the woods, near the lake. We utilized the entire property, and it really turned out really, really well. And Tressa recently remastered the film, and it's the director's cut now. She's the director. And so she wrote it, directed it, and edited it. And she worked with Steven on the editing, and her and Sam produced it, Sam Hamilton. And yeah, our cast was great. It really turned out well. And like I said, we filmed two of her films back to back. We had a blast.
Great. Okay, since you mentioned you did a second film, would you mind informing us the title and what your part was?
Sure. So I played the grandpa in Teddy Bear Girl, and we're not sure if he's real, if he's a dream, if he's a ghost. It's pretty cool. And working with Tressa is great. She's creative. Her and I are two peas in a pod. Our brains never really shut down, so we're always thinking, always creating, and she will accept ideas if they're good, if you come up with an idea on the spot, or she'll reject them too because she has a certain way she wants the story to flow. So that works out well, and that works well with me. And I also got the opportunity to write the title song for both films, both Sociopath and Teddy Bear Girl. And that was a thrill for me. I have a little bit of background in music, and she was open to me writing the song. And when I wrote the song for Sociopath, I didn't even talk to her about it. I just sent it to her one day, and she flipped out. She loved it. So if you're creative and if you have talent, she recognizes that, and she'll let you run with it.
Yes, I know the feeling. There's something I'm kind of curious about. I'd like to ask you about. I don't think there's a lot of information out there on this, but are you willing to reveal a little bit of Phantom?
Right. So when Tressa and I were introduced, I originally tried out for a couple of parts for Teddy Bear Girl, I believe, was the first video audition I sent her. And I think it was. And we got to talking on the phone. We were introduced by a mutual friend. And we got along so great, and our creative juices flow the same way. And we started to talk, and we were preparing for both Sociopath and Teddy Bear Girl to film those. But in our talks we had on the phone, Tressa told me that she wrote a film specifically for me. So there's a film called Phantom, Dark Emotions, that Tressa's editing as we speak, and I'm writing music for that as we speak. That'll be released, I think, next, and she's going to bring Sociopath and Phantom to your film fest that she's going to attend. And so she wrote a film for me, which I was shocked at, and that was actually the first film we shot together, and we did it at that same wood and oak cabin here in Michigan. So she came up, I think, in the late spring, early summer of 19, and we did Phantom first. But she wanted to release Sociopath first, because that's been her baby project, if that all makes sense.
Okay, yes, it makes sense. Very good sense.
Yeah.
We threw in there a little plug for the film festival coming up August 20th, 21st, and 22nd in Spring Hill, Florida, at the Holiday Inn Express, where Tressa is going to be there on Friday, Saturday, Sunday. You'll be able to meet her. We're going to screen whatever she brings, and it's going to be a great time. You'll be able to get some souvenirs from her, books, whatever she decides to bring. But this is going to be a really good, popular event. Of course, the entire cast is welcome to show up. Be a nice little Florida vacation, if you could. But we'll have more information on if you are interested in attending later.
Cool.
So now I'd like to shift a little bit and go to like this really threatening, scary, spooky hooky character that's in not Sociopath, I'm sorry, but he had a lot to do in making it in Quarantine. And of course, that's Mr. Stephen Roberts. Hello, Stephen. Are you there, Stephen?
Yes, I'm there. I forgot I had to unmute my Skype. I thought you were talking about Michael Sanchez there for a second.
Well, a good comparison, right?
There you go.
So, Stephen, you play this rather ominous character in Quarantine called Drax.
Yes, I do.
Is this character based upon, I don't know, it had to come out of your head, right?
Well, sure, it did. Well, Tressa gave me she said, can you think of some stupid, crazy conspiracy theorist guy that we could put on the show? And then I said, sure, I can do that.
Well, I think it's pretty ominous, and I know you do your own effects for it, and it's just downright creepy when you talk. Yeah, yeah. So I was just kind of curious. You do other work too, don't you?
No, that's the only character I do.
Well, I'm referring to like on your own.
Oh, yes.
So you've got you have some experience here, and possibly maybe you have personal experiences that you helped intertwine with that character. I could be wrong, but
No, not really. I just if I just thought to myself, if I had to Hollywood something up, I would have come up with Drax, and that's what I did. I knew I had a black mask and black dark sunglasses, and I have a audio program that I've been using for 8 years on my podcasting. That's what I've been doing for 8 years, and I knew I could mess around with it and do something with the voice.
Well, that was great because it's definitely creepy and ominous. Yeah, it's when it comes to your part in that, and you come on and you start talking, it's like, wow, this guy is like creeping me out. At least that's a feeling I always got. So now you have assisted Tressa with some other projects of hers in the past.
I went up to the wood note cabin just for I don't know, maybe comic relief. Maybe they just wanted a pretty face up there. I don't really know.
Okay. All right. Well, but you were there and you were part of it. So.
Yeah.
So.
No, actually, what I did was I did the interviews of people after the film.
Okay. Good. What's your future plans with Tressa Graves Productions?
Well, I don't really have a clue. She wants me to get a lot more creative with the video editing, but I don't know. I do the video editing for my stuff, and I do stuff for her, but I'm not really sure if I want to get real creative or not. I just want to do what she wants to do and do what I have been doing.
Okay. Well, let me ask you this, Stephen. I imagine she must get some feedback on Drax. So, and from Quarantine. So, is there a possibility maybe that you could just do a series for her on Drax? Just Drax himself?
Well, I think she's mentioned it. I wouldn't be against it. That's okay. I mean, it is quite a task. Not so much with the video, because I have a lot of other recordings. I clip the video out of it and use that for the stuff I've been doing with Quarantine. But I don't know if I have to create new video stuff for it. That's more tedious. But the audio part of it, the manipulating the audio is definitely the hardest part of it. And I wouldn't be against it.
Yeah, I think it could be it'd be interesting to see. I feel that my envision of a Drax series would be something like, every week you come on and you give your take on.
Well, that was my original intent. That was my original intent when I actually thought of it. I thought of it long before Quarantine came along. a few months, I wanted to create this persona because I don't really get vulgar and I don't really get graphic on my own shows, but I wanted some sort of a character, for the lack of a better word, that would.
Well, it worked well. It's pretty ominous and creepy. So I will always remember you as the creep on. Okay.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Now I'd like to switch over here and let's talk a little bit to Mr. Michael Sanchez.
How's it going?
I'm fine. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. Thanks for asking.
So you're one of the writers here in the Quarantine series.
Yes. Yeah. It's a new thing for me. I've written before, but books, but never in this field. So it is interesting.
So yes, very. What do you think about your character that you do in Quarantine in series season 2?
Alejandro Ramirez, he's an interesting character, that's for sure. I'm just trying to fit in, trying to get used to the character. Reminds me of some of the guys I grew up with in Jersey.
So you've modeled him after those guys, right?
Yes, sir.
And so you're truly acting, and it's not really any of you.
It could be me. It could be folks that I grew up with, but it's a lot of fun. That's for sure.
So, tell me some of your experiences. I know you're actually a big character in this, a very important role. Tell the audience some of little tidbits when you did some filming or even writing episodes and things.
Well,
I know how you came up with ideas.
Well, it just came out of the blue, if you will. But listening to you guys with the crew and Tressa, and you were coming up with ideas on a storyline, and me and Tressa got to talk, and somehow we just came up with, you know what, we should bring in this guy, this lover, if you will, this troublemaker, if you will, between two of the characters in the series, and I kind of enjoy it.
Oh, great. I see too that you, of course, you're a writer. You've written a couple books on your own. Do you have plans to do additional work with Tressa Graves Productions on any other projects going on right now?
Yes, whatever she needs, I will do my best to support her and the crew. I mean, the crew's great, and Tressa's great. She listens to ideas, and I try to be a big part of it as well. Mike Krill, he's good. He knows his stuff. Stephen Roberts, and you as well, Dave. You guys are great. I've been in the field for quite a while, and I'm learning from you guys, and it's just a learning process. Pretty good.
Well, good. Don't be shy.
No, I won't.
Yeah, you don't need to be shy around this crew. But I think it's great that we could all get together and have a little discussion this evening about Tressa Graves Productions. Currently what's going on, things that are being worked on, our involvement in it. It's nice to get it out there, and let people know that that there are other things coming down the pike. So and best of all, it keeps us out of trouble, I think. I'm not sure.
That's for sure.
But I think, what Tressa is doing here, and the type of things that she's putting out there with the subject matter and everything is kind of relevant to today, I feel. You feel that same way?
I believe so, yes. Especially with some of her personal experiences. Unfortunate it happened, but it's an experience that's helped her to continue moving forward. She hasn't allowed it to stop her in any way, and also she has a crew that supports her as well. And we all work together, collaborate pretty good, in helping to succeed, and that's all. That's what counts.
Very good. You really you summed it up better than I could.
Thank you.
Yeah, yeah, and thank you all so much for being on this evening, this afternoon, or this morning, wherever you may be, in whatever time it may be. Just remember, this is the Dark Hours, and I am your host, Dave Baker.